and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. In today's episode, we are back with the Kawasaki ZZR1200 project. In the last episode, we looked at this bike. I had just picked it up. I bought this bike as a non-runner, and I have started the process of bringing this bike back to life. In the previous episode, I went over the two known issues that this bike had when I first bought it. The first of those was that the hydraulic clutch did not have pressure behind the lever, and what I have done is gone in and cleaned out the brake master cylinder. I have bled the system out, and now I have full pressure at the lever and the clutch is functioning as it should. I will keep an eye on the fluid level in the master cylinder and make sure that there are no leaks over time. I've let this sit overnight. There are no leaks underneath the bike, and so I think we're good here, but I will keep an eye on this and continue to check it over time. Another system that I looked at preliminarily is the braking system on the bike. I am able to use the brakes and then let off the brakes, and the bike rolls nicely back and forth. The brakes, both front and rear, work as they should. I will go ahead and do a full service on the brake system, including the lubrication points for the levers and the pedal, as well as new fluid in the system, and I just want to make sure that everything is clean and functioning as it should on the brakes. But at this point, this bike can be safely ridden with the brakes in the condition that they're in. The next item that I had to deal with on this bike was an electrical issue. When I bought the bike, I knew that there was an electrical issue with it that prevented it from starting or turning on. The first thing that I looked at was the fuse box underneath the seat of the bike. I checked all the fuses there. Those all seem to be good. I then checked the two fuses that are on the side of the battery box. Those fuses look good. So in the meantime, I had ordered a new battery for the bike and installed it. And even when I would turn it on after the new battery was in, I still had nothing. The old battery tested bad. I was hoping the new battery would solve the problem, but it did not. When I picked up the bike, the previous owner mentioned that it could be something as simple as a starter solenoid fuse. I've never heard of a starter solenoid fuse on a bike, but I thought that would be a good place to check. And so I located the starter solenoid. It's under a side cover on the right side of the motorcycle. The starter solenoid itself is kind of buried behind some wires and hoses. So it took me about 15 minutes just to get access to that and have it so where I could pull the fuse and check that. And thankfully, when I checked that fuse, it was blown. So I put a spare 30 amp fuse in. I turned the bike on and I had lights. I was very excited about that. Let's see if she starts up. Awesome. I'm going to check the tire pressures on this bike. I'm going to give it a quick look over. I'm going to check all my lights and my horn. I'm going to make sure that everything functions as it should. And if so, I'm going to gear up. I'll bring the camera along and we can see what this bike is like out on the road. We'll take it for a test drive and see what else it needs in the rescue process.
I'm currently on a test drive on a 2002 Kawasaki ZZR1200 rescue project. And right away, the bike feels pretty darn nice. The engine seems to be running very smoothly right now. The bike shifted up through the gears very nicely. I'll hit the brakes here. Yeah, I've got some shimmy in the front end here, and I can feel that my steering stem bearings are on the loose side. Those definitely need to be tightened up. And I'll check the rotors and such as well. It's another one of those things you cannot check when you buy a non-running motorcycle. Hopefully I'm able to dial that out. See what it feels like when I open it up a little bit. Wow. Yeah, that is liquid smooth and very, very fast. Turns into the corners nicely. Oh man. Yeah, I've got a big grin on my face right now. Rear brake. There's no shimmy in the rear brake that I feel. Shifts down through the gears nicely. There's that chatter in the front end. Yeah, I can tell that steering stem is really loose. Shifting is nice and smooth. Oh man. Oh, there's a jet engine Kawasaki sound. Yeah, I just can't wait to get this bike completely dialed in. It's a bike that'll definitely take a lot of self-control. This thing is capable of getting you in serious trouble very, very quickly. Awesome. Well, it's time to get back to the shop and keep on working on this bike and getting it back into shape. This was a very nice starting point. I am super, super thankful that the electrical issue didn't take that long to diagnose and to fix. And really, again, when you buy a non-running bike, man, that electrical issue could have just been anything. Could have been a fried wiring harness or a CDI. And I'm just super thankful that it wasn't a super expensive fix.
All right. Well, I couldn't be happier about that test drive. It is awesome to get a project and to actually take it out on a test drive and for it to ride nicely and shift nicely. There are a few items that I noticed on the test drive that need to be addressed. The main thing I noticed was that the steering stem bearings on this bike are very, very loose. Those need to be set to the proper tension. Hopefully I don't have any notchiness in the steering stem bearings when I tighten them down to where they should be. And hopefully that eliminates the shimmy and the looseness in the front end when I do that job. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not the fork sliders. Hopefully I don't have worn bushings in my forks. The next thing that I noticed is that right around 3,700 RPM, this bike seems to have just a little bit of a lean spot. It's not bad if you're really getting in it, and it kind of pulls up through there pretty nicely. I'm not sure if that is just a characteristic of this motorcycle or if there's something that I need to clean in the carburetors or adjust more thoroughly. Prior to doing a road test review on this bike, I really want to go through it from front to back and check over all of my systems. I want to check the air filter. I'll bleed out the brakes. I want new fluid in the brakes. And I really want to get this bike 100% back up to spec so that I can do an accurate review of what this bike is truly like out on the road. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If there are any ZZR fans out there, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. And until next time, enjoy the ride.